Today we're going to talk about attachment styles in relationships. And when we talk about attachment theory, there are 4 main attachment styles, which are the ones that I will go over today. We've got the secure, the anxious, the avoidant, and the fearful avoidant. Hi, my name is Natalia Christensen and I'm a relationship coach. All right, so let's start with clarifying what is an attachment style even. An attachment style is a way that you relate to people in your life, especially the people who are close to you. And this pattern was formed in childhood. You can change your attachment style over the course of your life, depending on how your relationships are and how you evolve and what kind of inner work you do. But more often than not, you will be repeating the same patterns again and again and again in most of your relationships and your friendships even. So that's why it's actually really worth it to find out what attachment style you are. Are you the secure attachment style, or are you one of the 3 insecure attachment styles? People who have a secure attachment style are very comfortable with intimacy and they don't take rejection that personally. They usually have a broad group of people that they can rely on in their lives, family, friends, and in general, they're very trusting of others. They are not afraid of being abandoned because they know that even if that happens, they have a security net, they are comfortable in their own skin. Sounds great, right? Doesn't it? Unfortunately, most of us are not secure in our attachment style, and if you're watching this video, it's probably because you're curious as to if you are secure or if someone you're dating is secure in their attachment style. So the secure is a very has a very calm way of interacting and is not afraid of intimacy, like I said. Then we have the anxious attachment. And now we're getting into the part where we talk about the insecure attachment styles. So the anxious attachment is an insecure attachment style. When someone is anxiously attached, they are extremely needy. They need a lot of love and affection and validation constantly. They are terrified of abandonment. And the way that they are coping with this fear of abandonment is by really clinging on to whoever they're afraid is going to leave them. So they are really in need of affection, a lot of physical, emotional affection, a lot of talking about feelings, and mainly the anxious attachment style, they don't know how to regulate their own emotions. So they're dependent on other people to regulate their emotions for them, which can be really exhausting for their partners. Then we have the avoidant, which is on the opposite end of the spectrum. Even though the avoidant attachment style is also a insecure attachment style, the avoidant copes with life and intimacy by avoiding it, not getting in too deep, being overly self-reliant, never expecting anyone to really fulfill their needs or even soothe them when they're in emotional turmoil. They'll just take care of that stuff themselves. So you'll see an extreme degree of independence with these people. And you can see how that can kind of become a problem when an avoidant meets someone who is anxiously attached. You can see how that really clashes. Their needs do not meet at all, right? Because the anxious person needs a lot of validation and closeness. The avoidant person needs a lot of space and independence. And for whatever reason, we'll get into that later as well, these 2 attachment styles, they tend to kind of find each other. Okay, the 4th one. The 4th is the fearful avoidant attachment style. And the fearful avoidant is it's also called disorganized attachment style. So it's a little bit of a mix of the last 2. It's an insecure attachment style as well. So the fearful avoidant really craves intimacy, really wants to be close to people, but has a strong fear of abandonment. And the way the fearful avoidant copes with that is by switching on and off, like being extremely independent and shut off in their emotions, and then the next day being extremely loving and craving the closeness and acting out those type of anxious behaviors. So dating someone who is fearful avoidant is very stressful. It's the type of on again, off again relationship that you see sometimes. And the fearful avoidant will definitely be sending mixed messages, big time. All right, so that was a really short description, overview of the 4 attachment styles. And now I'm just gonna go a little bit deeper into some of it, because we've got the secure. The secure attachment style can pair up with any of these 3 insecure styles, because the secure attachment style will then play the role of being kind of the anchor of the relationship, the one who doesn't get fearful when the avoidant needs space. The secure person will just be like, oh sure, you need space, I'll call someone else, I'll be by myself, it's totally fine. And when the anxious person gets needy, the secure will just give them a little extra love, no problem, and move on with their day. You see, so it doesn't it takes a lot to startle someone who's securely attached. Not to say that secure people can't get hurt, not to say that they can't be heartbroken. Of course they can. They're human like everybody else, and they go through life the same way that all of us do, with a lot of ups and downs, but they are just much, much better at coping with life and coping with their feelings. So they can pair up with any of these attachment styles, and I don't know if I would say would be okay. It really depends on the level of trauma that this other person is going to put up on the secure person, but yeah, they can probably take it to a certain degree. Then we've got the anxious. The anxious and the avoidant, they have a lot to learn from each other. And that's what I was referring to when I said there's a reason why these 2 always pair up, because there is a pattern of these 2 being super attracted to each other and then having extremely toxic and dysfunctional relationships once they become a couple. The anxious person needs to learn how to be more independent, self-sufficient, how to regulate their own emotions. And the avoidant person needs to learn how to open up a little, open the heart, rely on other people, share some vulnerabilities, depend on others. You see, so you can see why they actually, on a subconscious level, they get attracted to each other, because they have so much to learn from each other. And then we've got the fearful avoidant. The fearful avoidant can pair up with, not successfully, but can get attracted to any type of attachment style, but it will not be that successful either. You know, if a fearful avoidant pairs up with a anxious person, it might make the fearful avoidant go to the opposite direction and really act out their avoidant patterns. If they pair up with an avoidant person, then it might make them switch into their anxious side, and they will act out the anxious pattern with that person. So I promised myself I would make this video short. So I think that was it for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, please comment below, like, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.